Good afternoon once again from Dooley Health and Care Field in Joliet, Illinois. It's the home of the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints, and we're just about set to start Game 2 of a doubleheader between the Saints and the St. Xavier University Cougars. Fighting Saints took the opener 9-4. They'll try to make it 2 in a row to open conference season. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call for today's 9-inning Game 2. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visiting St. Xavier Cougars, managed by Addison Rouse. Leading off is center fielder Sean Moore. Batting second, left fielder Justin Massingale. Evan Orzek hits third. Orzek is the catcher. Hitting cleanup is the designated hitter Troy Stukenberg. Batting fifth, third baseman John Simasek. Hitting sixth is Connor Hutchings. Hutchings plays shortstop. Nick Altabelli is in right field. Sebastian Parchamenko bats eighth and plays first base. And hitting ninth, second baseman Noah Dreyer. The starting pitcher for St. Xavier in Game 2 is right-hander Julian Vargas. Now the starters for the Fighting Saints, submitted by their head coach, Brian Mahalik. Leading things off and playing second base is Alex Martinez. Batting second, third baseman Drew Dant. Nate Maliska hits third. Maliska plays first base. Jake Klepash is the cleanup hitter in right field. Batting fifth, shortstop Brian Hidalgo. Cliff Vickers plays center field. Batting seventh, Josh Kernbauer. Kernbauer is in left. John McGuire is the designated hitter. And batting ninth, catcher Dan Goosel. The starting pitcher for the Fighting Saints today is right-hander Mac Malshevsky, the senior from Prospect High School up in Mount Prospect, Illinois. He's ready to get things started. And his first pitch of the ball game to Sean Moore is taken for ball one. We're underway, 3:26 p.m. Central Daylight Time. 5 degrees warmer than the opening game, 69 at first pitch. The 1-0 to Moore, taking over the inside corner for a strike, 1-1. Mac Malshevsky is making his third start of the year. He's 0-1 with a lofty ERA of 14.04. Trying to bring that down today. His 1-1 misses outside, 2 balls and a strike. Malshevsky has pitched 8 1/3 innings total this year. He's allowed 14 runs, 13 of them earned on 16 hits. With 6 strikeouts, 6 walks, opponents are batting .410 against him. There's a high fly hit by Moore into left center. Making his way over to fill the gap and make the catch is center fielder Cliff Vickers, and Sean Moore is out number 1. Good start for Malshevsky. He had some real gems during conference play last year. Trying to get to that point again here this season as the calendar turns to CCAC time. Just a gorgeous Tuesday afternoon. 69 degrees on March 12th. That's what you hope for when you start the season as Massingale lifts the first pitch into center field. Vickers comes on, slides, and he does not make the catch. Can't come up with it. And Massingale has himself a base hit. Vickers got a late jump on that one. He didn't read it as well as he'd like off the bat. He came flying in, made a valiant effort on the slide, but he trapped it. I don't even know if he trapped it. I think the ball rolled away from his glove, but the point was it was that slow first step that cost him. And St. Xavier ends up with their first base runner earlier here in Game 2 than we saw in Game 1. The two pitchers combined to retire the first 7 batters of the game in the opener this afternoon. Evan Orzek takes the first pitch up in the zone for strike 1. Orzek in Game 1 this afternoon hit his second home run of the year. Went 1 for 4. He also reached on an error and scored a run. So he scored 2, drove in 1. All in all, pretty good afternoon at the office, and it's not over. Trying to add to it here in Game 2, getting his first at bat. A pickoff throw to first is off the glove of Maliska, and it rolls into the bullpen down the right field line. Massingale rounds second, heads to third base, and he dives in safely. It's a two-base error. And that one you really could give either way, either to the pitcher Malshevsky on the throw or the first baseman Nate Maliska on the catch, or lack thereof. He had to lean for it, but it did hit off his mitt. Still just 0-1 on Orzak. This will be the second pitch of the at-bat. And Malshevsky misses outside, 1-1. St. Xavier scored first earlier this afternoon. In fact, they scored the first 2 runs. They had a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the 4th of what was only a 7-inning game, so it was late with a 2-0 lead. Fouled off left side, 1-2 on Orzak. They were not able to hold that. So the early run doesn't mean everything, but obviously St. Xavier would still like to score it. St. Xavier, or St. Francis rather, would like to prevent it. Infield stays back for the Fighting Saints here in the top of the first inning. The 1-2 to Orzak. Check swing, he went around. Called at home plate. The tag is applied by Dan Gusel, and Mac Malshevsky has a huge strikeout. 2 away in the inning. Massingale stuck over at third base for the time being, and Troy Stukenberg stands in for the first time of the game. What a big strikeout. Orzak knew that all he had to do is make contact. Fighting Saints were conceding the run on a ground ball. A fly ball certainly would have gotten Massingale in. Massingale runs well, so it didn't even have to be a deep fly. Troy Stukenberg swings and misses. Strike 1. But Malshevsky got him to chase a 1-2 pitch downstairs, and he couldn't hold up. No balls, 1 strike. Stukenberg launches it into center field. Vickers backs up, but he's under it, and he can't make the catch. He lost it in the sun, dropped right next to him. Stukenberg around second, heading for third base, and he's in there safely. A run is in. 1-0 St. Xavier on the misplay by Vickers in center field. It looked like Malshevsky had done what he needed to do to get out of the inning, but no such luck. It does go as a triple for Troy Stukenberg, his second this year. He picks up his 9th RBI of the season, and now he's at third as John Simasek stands in and takes ball 1. It's not an error on Vickers. He never touched the ball, not that you need to, but he just simply lost it in the sun. It is a bright sunny day. Swing and a miss, 1-1. With Simasek at the plate, Vickers has moved well off into left field. There's an enormous gap in right center if Simasek can push the ball that way. Might run forever. The 1-1 upstairs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Frustrating inning for Malshevsky. Both hits for St. Xavier were misplays by Simasek, or excuse me, by Vickers in center field. Ball outside, 3-1. Third time's the charm. And it's hard to blame Vickers for losing the ball in the sun. That's just kind of an unfortunate break. It wasn't a terrible play that led to the Massingale single. It was just one wrong step that cost him. Blooper out to shallow right field, sinking fast, and it drops in for a base hit in front of Jake Klepash. St. Xavier doubles their lead as Stukenberg comes home. It's 2-0. So again, the frustrating inning continues for Mac Malshevsky. He has not been hit terribly hard. The inning could have been over a number of times by now, but it goes on as Connor Hutchings flies one down the right field line into foul territory. Long run, Klepash, and he can't reach it as it drops in St. Francis's bullpen. It was a playable ball. It did not reach the seats, but it didn't have enough hang time on it to allow either the right fielder Klepash or the second baseman Martinez to get there. Or I guess the first baseman Nate Maliska. He was chasing it too, but none of them got close, just dropped too quickly. 0-1 on Hutchings. He went 1 for 3 with an RBI in game 1. Strike called, 0-2. St. Xavier leads 2-0 for the second consecutive game. They got there quicker this time around. There was an error earlier in the inning, but both of these runs are earned against Malshevsky. Pickoff throw to first. Zimisek wasn't taking much of a lead. Again, the fly ball to center field that turned into a triple for Troy Stukenberg was not an error. One that dropped right next to Cliff Vickers, who lost it in the sun. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Hutchings goes down on 3 pitches. Second strikeout of the inning for Malshevsky. But St. Xavier does their work in the first. 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave 1. Heading to the bottom of the first inning. 2-0 Cougars. Bottom of the first inning, St. Francis has some work to do as St. Xavier has already jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Alex Martinez, Drew Dant, and Nate Meliska are due up for the Saints this inning. Klepash, Hidalgo, Vickers, Kernbauer, McGuire, and Goosel make up the rest of the starting lineup. They're facing St. Xavier's senior right-hander, Julian Vargas. Vargas is making his 5th start of the year. He has been awfully good. 1-1 with a 1.99 ERA in 22 2/3 innings. He's allowed 11 runs, but only 5 of them earned on 22 hits. 15 strikeouts, only 1 walk issued by Vargas in his 22 2/3 innings this year. Alex Martinez leads things off. He walked more times in game 1. Julian Vargas has given out all year. Strike 1 called. We're underway in the bottom of the first inning. Martinez went 1 for 2, a single, 2 walks, and 2 runs scored in the game earlier this afternoon. Strike over the outside corner, 0-2. Game 2 of a doubleheader. Not the last time these teams will meet this year. The CCAC has changed up the way that they do their schedules this season. Ball off the inside corner, 1-2. Used to be you'd play a doubleheader against a team during the week, or you'd have a 3-game series on the weekend. This year, more doubleheaders and less frequent weekday games. Ball high, 2-2. They'll have another twin bill later in the season in Chicago. Two and two on the Saints' second baseman. Alex Martinez fouls it away. Two head coaches, Brian Mahalik and Addison Rouse, have arranged their pitching staffs a little bit differently to start this season. Martinez fouls off another. Still 2-2. Coming into today, no one for the Saints had started more than 2 games. We've had 6 different pitchers start at least once. So Mahalik's been spreading the innings around early this year. There's a ground ball up the middle past Vargas, and it rolls into center field. Martinez has himself a seeing eye single to begin the bottom of the first inning, and like the Cougars in the top of the first, the Saints have an early base runner. Here's Drew Dant. Dant, the third baseman, came into play today hitting better than 400 for the year. He went 0 for 4, however, in the opener. Time called before the first pitch to Dant. Addison Rouse is going out to have a look at something. I don't know if there's something wrong with his shortstop. He's going out to talk to Connor Hutchings. I think Hutchings dove for that last ball up the middle. So maybe tweaked something on that dive. And Rouse must have noticed him limping a little bit from the dugout or favoring something or other. But as soon as he gets out there, Hutchings says, "No, I'm fine. Go away." So Rouse is going to do just that. And Drew Dant will come up to hit. St. Xavier this season, as far as their starting pitching is concerned, they've primarily used 4 guys. Jimmy Farley has started 1 game, but other than that, they've had a 4-man rotation early this year. And each of those guys has at least 3 starts. Drew Dant takes ball 1. This is the 5th start of the year for Julian Vargas. Nico Saldias made his 6th start of the season earlier today. Called strike 1. The count is even on Dant. So while Brian Mahalik is spreading the innings around, letting a lot of different guys work, Addison Rouse has been focused on giving his best guys the most innings early in the season. Ball low, 2-1. We'll see how it plays out in the long run with these two teams. Early in the season, the Fighting Saints pitching stats have not been very impressive as Dant swings through 1, 2-2. They came in with a team ERA of 12. And you don't need me to tell you that that's not very good, but it was against a very difficult schedule. Hard ground ball outside the third base line. That's foul, and it's still 2-2. Certainly, the Saints would like to have come home with a record better than 2-9. They would like to have come home with some better stats. A 12 ERA, 2.44 team batting average. Ground ball to the shortstop. Gloved cleanly by Hutchings. He throws to second for 1. Dreyer's relay is in time, and it's a 6-4-3 double play. Base is empty, 2 down. And Nate Meliska will be the hitter. Because I don't want to leave that thought on that point. Of course, they'd like to have better stats, but there was a but coming in right before that ground ball. You don't really put much stock into anything that happens before conference play begins. Meliska takes ball 1 in the dirt. First of all, they're traveling a lot. They're playing some of the top teams in the country. Once you get home, you get into more of a routine. Take on foes that you're more familiar with. Meliska takes a ball, 2-0. The numbers come around over the course of a season. They always do. So you kind of have to ignore the stats this year. And it's hard sometimes when some of those big ERA numbers are staring back at you, but they really don't mean anything. Fouled back, 2-1. I always say they don't mean anything after reading them all to you, but I've got to say something. 2 balls, 1 strike. Maliska pokes it foul to the left. And Julian Vargas is 1 strike away from ending the inning. St. Xavier's had some more opportunities than the Saints have had early this year. Fewer games canceled. Ground ball right side. Dreyer, the second baseman, backhands, bobbles, throws, not in time. So Maliska is aboard with 2 outs on Dreyer's misplay. Let's see what the official call is on that one. It was a backhanded play by Dreyer, but if he had fielded it cleanly, he would have gotten Maliska easily, and it is an error on the second baseman. Brings up Jake Klepash, left-handed hitting right fielder. Ball 1 outside. There's a called strike. And it evens the count. Klepash went 1 for 2 in a productive game 1 today. He had an RBI single and a run scored. He also drove in a second run on a sacrifice fly. He chases strike 2 here, and he's behind in the count. Fighting Saints have had 2 base runners this inning, but have not been able to get them beyond first base. St. Xavier scored twice in the top of the frame. Runner on the move, pitch is swung on and grounded to second. Another chance for Dreyer. This time he makes it cleanly, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. We go to the second, 2-0 Cougars. One inning down, 8 still to be played here in game 2 of a doubleheader at Dooley Health and Care Field in Joliet. It's an eventful first inning. 2 teams combined on 5 base runners. 2 of them scored, both on the visiting side. And St. Xavier will try to extend their lead with the bottom of the order coming up. Altabelli, Parchimento, and Dreyer against Mac Malshevsky, the lanky senior right-hander who pumps in strike 1. Malshevsky, 6 foot 5 inches tall. Struck out 2 batters in the first inning, but couldn't escape unscathed. Fouled back 0-2. Wasn't hit very hard in that first inning. He gave up 3 hits. One of them was a defensive misplay. One of them was a blooper. The 0-2 to Altabelli, grounded foul past third. Nick Altabelli went 0 for 3 game 1, struck out once. So trying to reach base for the first time all day. 171 hitter entering play today. And there is his first hit of the day. Soft liner in between the shortstop and the third baseman. And it's a leadoff single for the Cougars. Their fourth hit already today. They are 4 for 7 at the plate as a team. .571 team average. Here's Sebastian Parchimento. One of the longest baseball names I can remember seeing. Line drive into right center field. That finds some huge space and rolls all the way to the wall. Altobelli will round third base and score with ease. The throw comes into third base. Parchimento has an RBI double. It's 3-0. Sebastian Parchimento has his second hit of the doubleheader. It's his 6th hit of the year and his second RBI. 3-0 the Cougars lead, and they're threatening for more with a runner on second base and nobody out. Here's Noah Dreyer. Dreyer was the man of the hour for St. Xavier in game 1. 3 for 3 with a single, a double, and a home run. First pitch from Malshevsky is taken for strike 1. Dreyer is a freshman on Brookfield Central High School in Wisconsin. Hadn't had many opportunities early in his collegiate career. But he got one today, and he made it count as he takes the ball in the dirt, 1-1. Not sure if Addison Rouse had his game 2 lineup in mind before game 1, but if he didn't, the work that Dreyer did in the opener certainly earned him a spot in the lineup here in the second game. 1-1. Inside out swing popped up down the right field line. Maliska chases it back, and he can't get to it as it drops in fair territory for a base hit. Parchimento makes it into third base, and they're at the corners. Still nobody out. 3 straight hits for St. Xavier. That goes right back into the bad luck category. Talked about how Malshevsky ran into some rotten luck in the first inning. Well, here in the second, there was no question about their first 2 hits. Altobelli and Parchimento squared them up. Noah Dreyer there, though, just hit a perfectly placed pop-up into no man's land. It's his 4th hit in 4 at-bats during the doubleheader. Here's Sean Moore with runners at the corners, nobody out. He looks to bunt, and now they've got Dreyer caught up between first and second base. Dreyer trying to get himself caught in a rundown. He ends up making it back to first safely. Brian Hidalgo was chasing Dreyer back to first base, but really the whole time he was looking at Parchimento over at third, making sure he didn't come in to score, and so ultimately he just gave up on the runner that he had in his grasp and let Dreyer get back to first base. Dreyer was really caught dead to rights after Moore pulled the bat back on the bunt attempt. Dreyer misread it. He was halfway between first and second, had to go somewhere. He did end up making it back to first. It's 1-0 on Sean Moore. Leadoff hitter. Flew out to center in the first inning. Moore does get the bat on the ball on the bunt attempt this time, but he fouls it back, 1-1. Moore was on base a lot in the first game, never got a hit. He walked once, he reached on an error, and once on a fielder's choice as well. So he went 0 for 3, but he was always on the base paths pretty much. 1-1, Malshevsky sets and throws to third base. Parchimento gets back. The 1-1 pitch. Bunted back to the pitcher. Malshevsky looks to third, throws to first, and it's not in time. Indecision from Mac Malshevsky cost him. And Sean Moore is aboard with a bunt single. Dreyer up to second base. Parchimento stays at third. That was some good base running by Sebastian Parchimento. He was coming in from third. It was not a great bunt from Moore. A little bit too hard right back to the pitcher. And Malshevsky saw Parchimento rolling off the bag and figured he probably could get an out there. The problem is that the third baseman, Drew Dant, was charging to play the bunt. And so Parchimento made sure to stay behind him. So even though he was creeping his way down the line, he never committed towards home and always had a free path back to third. Nobody was covering the base there. So once Malshevsky realized that, and it happened quickly, but Sean Moore runs really well. Once he realized that, he turned back to first, and his chance was gone. Moore was easily safe at first base. So really strong base running from the Cougars. And from the Saints, again, just a little bit of indecision cost them. 4 straight hits have begun this inning for St. Xavier. 1 run is in already. 3 more are on base. And here's Justin Massingale. Massingale takes the first pitch strike. He's 1 for 1 in the game, singled and scored in the first inning. The 0-1 pitch, low and away for a ball, and the count is even. Three runs on 6 hits already for St. Xavier. We're only in the top of the second inning and nobody is out. Infield playing halfway in right now for the Saints as Massingale takes upstairs. 2-1. Walks have been a problem for Malshevsky over the course of his college career. That's one thing that has not plagued him today. Hasn't given out any bases on balls. It's the hits that are getting him. A couple of hard hit balls, a few unfortunate breaks. That breaks over the head of Massingale. 3-1. Cougars left fielder had to duck out of the way. Massingale had a really rough opener today. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts and a double play. He's trying to make up for it here in game 2. He's already got a single and a run. Now in good shape to drive in more. Big swing and a miss. It's 3-2. Huge pitch from Malshevsky. Blew a fastball by him. Massingale came into today's game with a .367 batting average, .479 on base. Full count on him here. And he takes ball 4 off the outside corner. Another run will score for St. Xavier. And they have doubled their lead with 2 runs here in the second inning. Massingale is on base for the second time. Give him credit for his 8th RBI this year. Sean Moore advances to second base. Noah Dreyer is up to third, and Sebastian Parchimento comes in to score as Malshevsky gets a visit on the mound. 5 straight men have reached to start this inning. Single, double, single, single, walk. Those first 2 hits were solid line drives from Altabelli and Parchimento. And Noah Dreyer just hit a pop-up down the right field line that dropped in the exact right spot as it snuck in there for a hit. Sean Moore was trying to sacrifice. Ended up with a bunt single. And then the walk to Massingale really hurt Malshevsky as the score is now 4-0. 2 runs in the first, 2 more in the second, and a chance for a whole lot more before this second inning is over. The bases are loaded with nobody out, and the very dangerous Evan Orzek is coming up. Orzek is 0 for 1. He struck out with a man at third base in the first inning. He takes the first pitch outside here, ball 1. Nobody throwing in St. Francis's bullpen right now. This is all up to Malshevsky to try to settle in. 1-0 pitch. Taken for a strike, 1-1. And sometimes It feels like things are spiraling out of control, and really all it takes is one good pitch, one good at bat to turn everything around. A ground ball here could go a long way towards getting him out of the jam. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Strikeout obviously would be big as well. Any kind of out at this point, even if it scores a run. Malshevsky just needs to get back on track. The 1-2 pitch. Orzek flies it into center field. Cliff Vickers comes over to his right, makes the catch. The runners go back to their bases to tag. One of them advances, and that's the man at third, Noah Dreyer, who crosses home plate with a run, a sacrifice fly for Evan Orzek. And it's now 5-0, St. Xavier. The other runners stay put. So Massingale's still at first. Moore is at second. And Troy Stukenberg is the batter. Like I said, even if it means a run scoring, that's a big out for Mac Malshevsky. He just needed to get one under his belt after 5 straight men had reached. Now he'll go back to work. Try to straighten this thing out. First pitch to Stukenberg. Flip to the right side, foul, and out of the reach of the first baseman, Maliska. Strike one. Stukenberg's first time up in this game, he hit a fly ball into center field. It looked like it was going to end the inning. Cliff Vickers lost it in the sun. Ended up falling in for a triple. Sun is not as much of an issue. Some clouds have rolled in just in the last few minutes. It's not overcast, but not quite as bright as it was. There's a high fly ball, deep left field. Chasing it back, Josh Kernbauer at the warning track, and he's out of room. It's a 3-run homer for Troy Stukenberg, and St. Xavier just keeps piling on. Their lead is now 8-0 as Stukenberg goes deep for the second time this year. He picks up RBIs number 10, 11, and 12. He's got 4 of them in this game alone. And he's already got the hardest half of the cycle taken care of. Well, it's a reset for Malshevsky. There's the silver lining for him. Base is now empty with 1 out. He can go back to work against Simasek, who fouls off the first pitch. But that's not the way he wanted to clean the slate. He would have preferred the double play. Foul tipped. It's 0-2. Simasek is 1 for 1 with an RBI single. Three hits so far in the twin bill. Ball outside. 1-2. Eight to nothing, St. Xavier. Still just 1 out in the second. Make it 2. Simasek strikes out swinging. Third strikeout of the ball game for Mac Malshevsky. And Connor Hutchings will be the 9th batter of the inning for the Cougars. There is a right-hander now throwing in the bullpen for the Fighting Saints. Matt Lopez. First pitch swinging, Hutchings lofts it high to right field. Lepach comes in, puts the squeeze on it, and the inning comes to a close. So a quick second and third out after the home run. Malshevsky is finally able to settle in, but not before 6 runs score for St. Xavier on 5 hits. No errors, nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the second, 7-0, the visitors on top. Bottom of the second inning. 8-0 St. Xavier leads, so things aren't going so well for the home team right now. Julian Vargas back on the mound after he pitched a scoreless first inning. Vargas is a pitcher who, the way he's thrown so far this year, you would not expect to give up an 8-run lead. But you never know. Baseball's a weird game. Brian Hidalgo takes ball one low and in. Saints have their work cut out for them, but Vargas wasn't particularly sharp in the first. Hidalgo hits a nubber to the right side of the infield, scooped up by Dreyer. Second baseman throws to first for the out. Saints got a hit in the first inning, erased on a double play. They got a second base runner on an error. Weren't able to score. It took Vargas 22 pitches to get out of the inning, which is not a huge deal other than to say that it wasn't easy for him. Ball outside, 1-0 on Cliff Vickers. Vickers is getting his first at-bat of this game. He had 2 hits, including a double, an RBI, and 2 runs scored in game 1. He ropes this one out to right center field. Coming in, diving, and making a great catch is Nick Altabelli. What an outstanding play by the right fielder. Altabelli almost made that one look easy. That was a hard hit ball by Vickers, but Altabelli read it perfectly the whole way and laid out, making the catch on the dive. 2 away. Here's Josh Kernbauer, hitting .250 this season. Kernbauer has 1 homer, 1 RBI, getting his first at bat today. He was not in the lineup for game 1. He checks his swing and takes the ball low. High hopper to third, fielded on a low bounce by John Simasek, who throws over to first and retires the side. Well, there's a nice, easy inning for Vargas. 1, 2, 3 on 6 pitches, and he puts a 0 on the board after his team threw a 6 spot in the top of the inning. We'll go to the third. 8-0 St. Xavier. We're into the top of the third inning. A big lead so far for St. Xavier. The Saints have made some defensive changes. Alex Milcars has checked in to play second base. And they have switched out their pitcher as well, Matt Lopez, the senior right-hander, is on the mound. 5th appearance for Lopez, no record, a .982 ERA in 3 2/3 innings. He's allowed 4 runs on 6 hits, 3 strikeouts, 4 walks. His first pitch is popped up foul and out of play to the right side. 0-1 on Nick Altabelli. Altabelli has had a pretty good day so far. 1 for 1 with a single. He started the 6-run rally in the the second inning, and made a great diving catch in right field in the bottom of the second. I said he's had a great day. We really can say he's had a great inning. Now's the real challenge. Can you do it outside the second inning? That's what people are always asking. Tapped foul, 1-2. Final line on Mac Malshevsky. 2 innings pitched. He allowed 8 runs, all of them earned on 8 hits. 1 walk, he struck out 3. Ball and 2 strikes on Altabelli, who stands right in the back corner of the box. Takes low and away, 2-2. Next one is off the outside corner, full count. Altabelli, Parchimento, and Dreyer, 7, 8, and 9. Due up for Addison Rouse's club this inning. Altabelli swings on 3-2, lifts it high to left field, deep. Kernbauer back to the warning track, and it's out of here. A solo home run for Nick Altabelli. His first collegiate homer. And that makes it 9-0. Fourth home run hit today by St. Xavier. They had 2 of them in game 1, and now 2 here in game 2. Altabelli is the second freshman to have hit his first career homer today. Noah Dreyer got one as well. Here's Sebastian Parchimento. He drills it to deep left field, down the line, and that is a fair ball and a goner. Sebastian Parchimento adds his name to the home run party list. For Parchimento, it's number 1 this season. He just barely curled it inside the left field foul pole. Wasn't sure that was going to make it. But it did just barely stay fair. And it's now 10-0 St. Xavier. They've scored multiple runs in every inning. 3 of their last 5 batters have homered, 2 in a row. Here's Noah Dreyer, who hit a home run earlier today. He fouls the first pitch off his foot, strike 1. The Cougars struck first in game 1 today. They led 2-0. Then it was all St. Francis the rest of the way. So the Fighting Saints captured that game 9-4. Cougars struck first here in game 2. And they have not let up, not even a little bit. Ball low and away, 1-1. Game 1, St. Xavier hit a couple of home runs, and I talked about it at the time. It's really the only area in which Ryan Daly has struggled this year, as Dreyer is hit in the back with the 1-1 pitch. He's aboard. A hit by pitch puts a man on with nobody out. Here's Sean Moore back to the top of the order. Moore already getting his 3rd at bat of the game. And Ryan Daly was really good again in game 1 today. Just 2 earned runs allowed over 6 innings. Picked up his 2nd win of the year. But he did give up those 2 home runs. A little bit different here in game 2 as Moore takes ball 1 in the dirt. Matt Lopez had not allowed a home run this year prior to today. Now he's given up 2 of them. Mac Malshevsky has had some homer issues. He's given up 6 of them in 10 1/3 innings this year. Flipped foul to the left side, out of play, strike 1. The other thing I talked about in game 1 is that those home run numbers should come down in conference play. They usually do, partially because the competition is not quite as difficult, partially because of the stadium here. This is a pretty good pitcher's park as Moore takes a strike. Part of it is the cold weather. Well, we haven't had that. It's coming, I'm sure. We're not going to make it through the entire season without a few 40-degree games, but as beautiful as you could ask for today. Hard grounder right to the shortstop. Flipped over to second for one, on to first. That's a double play. 2 down, 6-4-3. And a much-needed twin killing for Lopez and the Fighting Saints. Bases are empty, and Justin Massingale comes up to hit. I still expect those home run numbers to come down for the St. Francis pitching staff at some point, but obviously today wasn't the day. This is a St. Xavier team that prior to today hadn't really hit a lot of them. Justin Massingale flies it into right center field. Long run back, Klepash. He can't get to it. It splits the right center gap, rolls to the wall. Massingale's got at least 2 bases. He's thinking 3. The relay throw comes in, not in time. It's a 2-out triple. Massingale's making up for lost time for that rough first game. He has been stupendous here in the second. 2 for 2 with a single, a triple, a walk. An RBI, 2 runs scored. Trying to make it 3 runs scored, as he hopes Evan Orzek can bring him home. Orzek is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He flew to center field his last time up, but brought home a run in the process. We call that a sacrifice fly. He takes an off-speed pitch outside, 1-0. Lopez sets for the next one. Right down the pike, and it evens the count. Back to St. Xavier, I was talking about their home run hitters. Massingale has been the big bopper, 4 home runs coming in. The rest of the team had hit just 8 of them over the course of 17 games, and nobody had more than 1. High bouncer to first, brought in by Maliska, who carries it to the bag and ends the inning. Cougars leave a man at third base, but they do score 2 runs thanks to back-to-back solo homers from Altabelli and Parchimento. And we'll head to the bottom of the third inning, 10-0. St. Xavier has the big lead. Bottom of the third inning. St. Francis will try to turn this thing around. They have got an awful lot of work to do. Trailing 10-0. They've been out hit so far 10-1. John McGuire is the leadoff man for St. Francis. McGuire, Goosel, and then back to the top of the order. John McGuire takes ball 1 inside. At top of the order would be Alex Milcars getting his first at bat of the day. He replaced Alex Martinez at second base last inning. Fouled back, 1-1. John McGuire went 1 for 3 with an RBI triple in game 1 this afternoon. This is his first at bat of the second game. Julian Vargas winds up and delivers. A high fly, deep left field. Massengale backs up. He's at the warning track. He's at the wall, and it's gone. St. Francis gives St. Xavier a taste of their own medicine. A leadoff home run. And for John McGuire, that's number 2 this year as he puts the Saints on the board. 10-1 our score. Brings up Dan Goosel for the first time. Goosel did not start game 1. This is his 15th at bat of the year. He's 1 for 14 so far. Way out in front of an off-speed pitch, strike 1. 1 for 14 with a walk, a couple of hit by pitches. Puts his on-base percentage up at .235. So he takes a strike, 0-2. Ball up and away. Vargas went 1-2-3 in the second inning. He threw just 6 pitches in that frame. His third inning so far going a little bit differently. Looking to get his first out. Right-hander's pitch to Goosel. Misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alex Martinez waits on deck, so it appears he'll re-enter to hit. Check swing, he went around, pitches in the dirt, so the throw has to be made down to first base. It's there in time, and Goosel is retired for the first out of the inning. First strikeout today for Vargas. Not really his game. He strikes out his share of guys, but for as good as he's been with an ERA under 2, he hasn't been dominant with the punch-outs. That's his 16th in 24 2/3 innings pitched. Make that 25 innings, including that strikeout. Ground ball foul hit by Martinez, strike 1. Alex Martinez singled and was eventually doubled up on a ground ball back in the first inning. The 0-1 from Vargas. Big swing and a miss. 0-2. Saints win earlier this afternoon, improved their record to 3-9 on the year. St. Xavier fell to 7-11. Ground ball to the shortstop. Diving stop by Hutchings, but he doesn't have a play. It's an infield base hit for Martinez. Second hit of the inning for the Saints. And they've got a man aboard. Nice effort from Hutchings. The ball popped out of his glove, rolled over towards second base where it was scooped up by Noah Dreyer. But even if Hutchings had stuck that one on the initial effort, no time to get Martinez at first. So he's 2 for 2. And Drew Dant hits one foul to the left side for strike 1. Dant's trying to get rolling today. The Saints' leading hitter entering play is 0 for 5 in the 2 games. He grounded into a 6-4-3 double play his last time up. 10 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Cougars, 1-3-1 for the Saints. Here's the 0-1. Nope, throw to first instead. Martinez gets back to the bag safely. St. Francis, as a team this year, has only stolen 7 bases in 11-plus games. So down 9 especially, you wouldn't expect him to do a lot of running as Dant takes a ball low, 1-1. Most of those stolen bases have come from Alex Milkar, about half, 3 of 7. Swing and a miss, 1-2. 1 on, 1 out, 1 in this bottom of the 3rd inning. Fouled off into the St. Xavier dugout, left side. Still 1-2. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning, second strikeout of the game for Julian Vargas. And Drew Dant, who had struck out only 3 times in 38 plate appearances through his first 11 games of the year, has struck out twice, or 3 times actually, in 6 plate appearances today. Nate Meliska hits a foul off the screen for strike 1. Meliska reached on an error in the first. He's 0 for 1. Hard grounder to the second baseman. Dreyer plays it cleanly and throws to first. The inning is over. Saints get a run on the leadoff homer from John McGuire. But that's all as they leave a man at first base. We go to the 4th, 10-1. St. Xavier has the lead. Big lead for St. Xavier as they come up to bat in the 4th inning. And Troy Stukenberg takes ball 1 from Matt Lopez. Lopez is on for his 2nd inning of work. Gave up home runs to the first 2 batters he faced last inning, but then settled in. Didn't give up any more runs. Ball low and away, 2-0 on Stukenberg. Big game so far for Troy Stukenberg. He's 2 for 2 with a triple, a homer, 2 runs scored, and 4 RBIs. 2-0 pitch is taken for a strike. 2-1. St. Xavier has hit 3 home runs in this game. They've got 10 hits total. Ball low, 3-1. 5 of the 10 have gone for extra bases. Mac Malshevsky started, went 2 innings, allowed 8 runs. Foul ball hit by Stukenberg. Got that right on the screws, but he yanked it. And the count goes full. This game has been all St. Xavier, but the Fighting Saints responded for the first time in the bottom of the 3rd with a solo homer. Stukenberg flies another one to deep left field. Again, it sends Kernbauer reeling back, and again, it's out of here. 2nd home run of the day for Stukenberg. He's now 3 for 3 with 5 RBIs, and it's back to a 10-run lead. That's 3 consecutive half innings in which we've seen a leadoff home run. Last time he was up, he hit that homer. I said that Stukenberg was halfway to the cycle. If he can't get a cycle because he's just hit too many home runs and not enough singles, I don't think he's going to complain. Strike one called on John Simasek, the third baseman. Simasek is 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a strikeout. Ball upstairs. Counts even at 1. So Matt Lopez has now allowed 3 homers in just an inning plus. Strike over the outside corner, 1-2. Mistakenly said a moment ago that they had 5 extra base hits. That was actually their 7th, so they had 6 before. Ball low and away, 2-2. They've got the 4 homers, 2 triples, and a double. That ball is hit hard to deep left field. Back in the corner, Kernbauer has room this time, and he's able to make the catch in fair territory. Just down at the edge of the warning track, Simasek flies out, and that's 1 down in the 4th. They'll give Connor Hutchings his 3rd at bat of the game. Hutchings is one of only 2 players in the Cougars lineup not to have reached base so far in this game. He pops this one up right side of the infield. Looks like that'll continue as Meliska does make the catch. A little nerve-wracking at the end there, but he was able to squeeze it cleanly. 2 down. Back-to-back outs recorded by Lopez. He'll try to follow up that home run with 3 in a row as he faces Nick Altobelli. Altobelli is 2 for 2, a single, a homer, and 2 runs scored. Knocks this one over the head of the shortstop Martinez out in the left center field. Extra base hit for Altobelli. He heads to second. It's the 8th extra base hit of the game. And speaking of cycles, he's now just a triple away. 3 for 3 in the game. That brings up Sebastian Parchimento. He's 2 for 2, a double and a homer. How about the bottom of the order? 7, 8, 9 for St. Xavier. They are 6 for 6 with a hit by pitch. 2 homers, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, and 5 runs scored. That's their 7, 8, and 9 batters. Those are incredible numbers for anybody, but if you can get that from the bottom of your order, it's really impressive. Ball 1 outside on Parchimento. He's got an 11-letter last name, which is pretty good. I think the longest in Major League history is 15 letters. 11's pretty long, but his first name is Sebastian, so it really doesn't fit on the page. So he grounds one to third base. And Drew Dant throws him out at first. 5-3 on the putout. Finally, the number 8 hitter is retired. And St. Xavier has to settle for just 1 in the 4th on the solo homer for Troy Stukenberg. We go to the bottom of the frame, 11-1, St. Xavier. On to the bottom of the fourth inning. 4-5 and 6-2 up for the Fighting Saints. Jake Klepash leads things off. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it away. Strike one. I've sorted out my own lineup mistake. Earlier I said Alex Milcars had checked in for Alex Martinez at second base. Then was surprised when Martinez came up to bat for himself. Martinez actually moved to shortstop, so Milcars is hitting in Brian Hidalgo's space in the lineup. There's a swing and a miss, and the count is 0-2. So he's on deck, and then it's Cliff Vickers due up third this inning. Klepash pokes that into left field, a base hit. Leadoff man is aboard for the Fighting Saints as they pick up their fourth hit of the day. And Alex Milcars will bat with one on and nobody out. Saints have been able to get some base runners today against Julian Vargas. They've had 5 of them through 3+ innings. Problem is the other team has scored 11 runs. That just puts a lot of pressure on the offense. Alex Milcars, the second baseman, stands in. Getting his first at bat of the day. Milcars has been out there at second base the last couple of innings. He's an .087 hitter on the season, 2 for 23 with 1 RBI. He's also walked 4 times. He swings the first pitch, flies it down the right field line, and it cuts foul. That's strike one. Milcars is a junior from Oswego. He has started 8 games this year. So he's been in the lineup a lot. He's played some left field in addition to his spot on the infield where he is today. But a slow start at the plate this season has kept him on the bench up until now in today's doubleheader. Runner on the move, a swing and a grounder to the shortstop. Charging and fielding it is Hutchings. He looks at second. His only real play is first, and he doesn't make it. His throw is too high. Milcars is safe at first. Klepash is safe at second. And on a ball that could have been a double play had Klepash not been running on the pitch, ends up getting no outs. Runners at first and second. Milcars is safe on the shortstop's error. He looked to second just to make sure he didn't have a play there, and I think that's what cost him, as his throw was just a little bit off balance. Cliff Vickers takes ball 1 inside. Vickers is 0 for 1. Lined out to right field on a sensational catch by Nick Altabelli back in the second. Cougars will try to get another ground ball. Outside, 2-0. Vargas is in some trouble here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Not entirely of his own making, but he's the one who's tasked with getting out of it. Next pitch is right there for a strike, 2-1. Josh Kernbauer stands on deck as the Fighting Saints try to match what St. Xavier has done 3 times already today and put up a crooked number. They're going to have to score, you would figure, in bunches if they want to make a comeback. High pop-up on the infield. This stays fair. It'll be an infield fly. It is in fair territory. And the catch is made by John Simasek. 1 away. I mean, it goes without saying they're going to need to score in bunches at least once, at least one bunch. Even if St. Xavier doesn't score again, Fighting Saints cannot come back and win this one by scoring just 1 an inning, even if they do it every inning. It'll probably take a couple of 3 or 4 run frames to give them a chance. Josh Kernbauer is 0 for 1 with a ground out. He hits this one on the ground as well, right to the third baseman. Simasek throws to second for 1, on to first, and that's a double play. Second time today that Julian Vargas has erased a base runner on a double play. And despite the hit and the error that opened the inning, USF does not score. We head to the fifth. 11-1 St. Xavier. 11-1 St. Xavier's. We move into the top of the fifth inning. Terry Bonadonna with you on the USF Sports Network. St. Xavier so far appears to be on their way to splitting this doubleheader after the Saints took game one 9-4. Still a long way to go in this, though, as the number 9 batter Noah Dreyer leads off the fifth against a new St. Francis pitcher. It is left-hander Luke Gunther who misses outside for ball one. Gunther is on for the fifth time this year, his fourth as a reliever. He's 0-2 with an 11.88 ERA. A slow curve that fools Dreyer. Swing and a miss, strike one. In 8 1/3 innings, Gunther has allowed 15 runs, 11 of them earned on 16 hits, just one walk, 4 strikeouts for the junior, transferred in from Joliet Junior College. He fires in a strike, 1-2. He's trying to do something here that nobody else has been able to do today. Retire Noah Dreyer. He's reached in all 5 of his plate appearances of the doubleheader. Make it 6 for 6. He smashes a single out to center field. And the leadoff man reaches yet again. I guess in one respect, it's an improvement. The last 2 leadoff batters both hit home runs. But between the 2 teams combined in this game, there have been 9 innings offensively. And the leadoff man has gotten a hit in 7 of those 9 innings. And as we all know, it's hard to pitch when the leadoff man is constantly on base. Both teams have had to deal with it. Julian Vargas has gotten help because he's forced hitters twice into double plays. Sean Moore fouls off the first one, strike one. 3 of those 7 leadoff batters who have gotten hits today have hit home runs. 0-1 on Moore. Strike called, 0-2. Moore has singled, flown out, and he's hit into a double play himself. Behind in the count, 0-2. He flies it into center field. Looks to be routine for Vickers, who takes a few steps to his right and makes the catch, 1 down. Dreyer remains at first base, and the batter is Justin Massingale. If you were going to determine a player of the game for St. Xavier if the game were to end right now, I was going to say it'd be difficult because there are so many guys who have been on base 3 times. Massingale's one of them. Single, a triple, a walk, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. But the answer is Troy Stukenberg. It really is not complicated at all. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Stukenberg's got 2 homers and 5 RBIs. So I don't care how many guys on your team have 3 hits. He's the one. The 0-1 misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 on, 1 out. St. Francis is on their 3rd pitcher. Luke Gunther replaced Matt Lopez, who replaced Mac Malshevsky. Final line on Lopez in 2 innings pitched. He allowed 3 runs on 5 hits. All 3 runs he gave up were solo homers. Didn't walk anybody, though he did hit 1 batter, and no strikeouts for him. Gunther is 1 strike away from picking up his first K as Massingale swings and misses 1-2. Short lead over at first for Dreyer. Gunther's pitch. Strike 3 called, a breaker that paints the outer third. 2 down. First time that Massingale has been retired in the 2nd game. And now it's Evan Orzek, who is one of 2 Cougars in this game without a hit. It's worth noting he does have an RBI on a sac fly. No hit. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Runner at first base, 2 outs. Gunther's trying to put the first 0 on the scoreboard today. Ball outside, 1-0, at least in this game. St. Xavier has scored 2 in the first, 6 in the second, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth. One-0. Ground ball, diving at first base, Maliska. That's a fair ball. As Maliska steps on the bag, the inning comes to a close. That had just barely stayed inside the line before Maliska got to it. And so he's able to retire the side. Nice play by him. Nice inning worked by Luke Gunther. We're halfway through this game. 11-1, St. Xavier. John McGuire leads off the St. Francis 5th inning. Last time he led off an inning, he took the ball out of the yard. We'll see if he can touch up Julian Vargas again here. Vargas has allowed just the 1 run through 4 innings. McGuire takes the first pitch for ball 1. McGuire, Goosel, and Martinez due up as the Saints try to capitalize off of the top half of the 5th inning. Turn the momentum around in this one. McGuire rolls it over to third. Simasek to first base in time, 1 down. I mean, no surprise to look at the scoreboard. This game has been all St. Xavier, but after scoring at least 1 run in each of the first 4 innings, they finally had a 0 up there in the 5th. So this would be a good time for St. Francis to strike offensively, put the Cougars back on their heels a little bit. Dan Gusel bats for the second time. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. One of 2 Ks on the score sheet for Vargas today. Gusel takes ball 1. Gusel swings to the next one, hits it a mile high right at home plate. And the catch is made by Evan Orzak. 2 down. That was in foul territory when the catch was made, but that was pretty much straight up. Orzak had his foot in the batter's box as he made the catch. So that's 4 in a row retired by Vargas, including a double play in there. So he's gotten 5 outs against the last 4 batters. 4 straight retired matches his longest stretch of the game. He'll try to make it 5 in a row and look to get his second perfect frame today, facing Alex Martinez. Martinez takes ball 1. Martinez has had his numbers so far, though. He's got half of the Saints' hits, 2 for 2, with a couple of singles. Ball 2, and Martinez is in the driver's seat in this at-bat. 2-0. Vargas winds and delivers. Check swing, it's a strike. 2-1. Two outs, nobody on, bottom of the 5th. Sharp grounder, but right at the shortstop. It's bobbled by Hutchings. The throw to first just barely got him. So Hutchings will not be charged with an error. He recovers in time to make the play, and it is the second 1-2-3 inning of the game for Julian Vargas. We go to the 6th. St. Xavier 11, St. Francis 1. Into the 6th inning, 11-1 St. Xavier over St. Francis. Fighting Saints have called on their 4th new pitcher of the day. Cody Nold is on the mound after a scoreless 5th inning worked by Luke Gunther. And Nold's first pitch misses inside, ball 1. Facing Troy Stukenberg, who's 3 for 3 in the game, 2 homers, a triple, 3 runs scored, and 5 RBIs. Ball low and away, 2-0. Gunther went 1 inning, allowed a home run to, a single to Noah Dreyer to lead off the 5th inning, and then set down the next 3 men in order. So really nice job by Gunther. Fouled back by Stukenberg, 2-1. And Brian Mahalik has decided to get him out of there after just the 1 inning. Make sure it's a positive day for him. And now it's up to Cody Nold to try to make this a positive day for him. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Nold is a sophomore from Plainfield, on for just the 2nd time this year. In his first outing, he went an inning and 2/3, allowed 1 run on 2 hits and 2 walks, no strikeouts. Chopper to short, fielded by Martinez. He sets his feet and throws wild to first base. The ball pops up and into the stands, so that'll be an extra base for Troy Stukenberg. First time up today in which he didn't get a hit. And it still turns into him standing on second base. It's a 2-base error on Alex Martinez. 2nd of the game for St. Francis. In the doubleheader, Stukenberg has batted 7 times, and he's only been retired once. A walk, a double, a triple, and 2 home runs, and now he's reached on an error. Here's John Simasek, 1 for 3 with an RBI single. He clubs this one out to center field. Vickers started in, now on a dead sprint going back, and it lands over his head, and one hops the wall. Stukenberg will score easily. Simasek pulls up at second base. An RBI double. It's an 11-run game. John Simasek has his 2nd RBI of the game, his 4th hit of the doubleheader. He's got 12 RBIs now on the season. Here's Connor Hutchings. Hutchings came into the doubleheader today, hitting .333 for the season, leading the team with 16 RBIs. Hasn't had a terribly productive 2 games. There's still time to turn that around. Ball 1 upstairs on him. He did drive in a run in the first game on a fielder's choice. He went 1 for 3 in that one. He's 0 for 3 in this game. He and Evan Orzek are the only 2 not to have reached base. Fouled off, 1-1. "12 runs, 14 hits, 2 errors for St. Xavier. 1, 4, and 2 for St. Francis. Fighting Saints took game 1, 9-4. Ball outside, 2-1. Hutchings is SXU's number 6 hitter. And already batting for the 4th time. We're in the top of the 6th inning. That ball smashed into left center field. That's going to find the gap. It does. Drops in for a base hit. 2nd in a row for St. Xavier. Simasek scores, and Hutchings takes his place at second base. So there's his 18th RBI this year. And the Cougars keep finding guys to take second. Stukenberg reached on a 2-base error to begin the inning. Simasek doubled. Hutchings doubled. As they continue to swap positions, a new man will take second base. Gannon Burns comes on as a pinch runner. Nick Altabelli will bat once everybody is positioned. Burns is a sophomore infielder who presumably will take over for Hutchings in the bottom of the 6th inning defensively. 12-run lead for the Cougars. And if this score holds, they're only 6 outs away from a win. Altabelli's perfect today. A single, a double, a homer, an RBI, and 2 runs. He takes ball 1. Nold sets for the next offering. High for a ball. Nold has fallen behind just about everybody this inning, so he's having some trouble with his control. Fourth pitcher of the day for St. Francis. 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Mac Malshevsky allowed 8 runs on 8 hits over 2 innings. Matt Lopez allowed 3 runs, all on solo homers over his 2 innings. Luke Gunther did not allow anybody to score in his 1 inning on the mound. Altobelli pops it into right field, taking a step in and making the catch is Jake Klepash. And for the first time in this game at least, Nick Altobelli is retired. Gannon Burns is forced to hold at second base. 1 away. Here's Sebastian Parchimento. Parchimento has doubled and homered. He's also grounded out. 2 for 3. He's 3 for 6 combined in the 2 games. St. Xavier's put up good offensive numbers in both games as Parchimento takes a strike. They lost game 1. They only ended up scoring 4 runs, but they had a lot of base runners. They finished that game with 9 hits, and remember, that was just a 7-inning game. Strike called, 0-2. They've got 15 hits in this game. So on the day, 24 total hits in 12 1/3 offensive innings. That's pretty impressive. On the other hand, you'd say, as impressive as it is, best we can hope for is still just 1 win out of 2. That ball hit on a line right at the left fielder, caught by Kernbauer for the second out. And it'll bring up Noah Dreyer, who still has not been retired. 3 times up, 3 times on base in game 1. 3 times up, 3 times on base in game 2. It's very possible that this is Dreyer's last at bat of the game. It's very possible that it isn't too, but if it is, if he can get on base here, he can guarantee himself a perfect doubleheader. Strike called, 0-1. So from that standpoint, this is a big at bat for him. I don't know if he's thinking about it that way. He's 5 for 5 in the 2 games with a hit by pitch. He takes up and in from Nold, 1-1. 2 runs are in this inning. Only one of them earned against Nold. If anybody else scores, that would likewise be unearned. Check swing. Did he go around on that pitch up and in? He did not. It's 2-1. So Nold's ERA for this inning is pretty well set, assuming he finishes the inning. 1 run and 1 frame, but more damage could still be done by St. Xavier, whether it counts against his ERA or not. 2-1 on Dreyer. Big swing and a miss. 2-2. Nold is 1 strike away from doing something that no other Fighting Saint has been able to do all day. He's faced 5 different pitchers, and he's reached base 6 times. Can he make it 7 for 7 against his 6th pitcher? High fly ball out to left field. It's deep. Kernbauer goes back on it. Does he have room? No. It's another home run for Noah Dreyer, his 2nd of the doubleheader. And the lead for St. Xavier is 15-1. And that's their 5th long ball just in game 2. What a day for Noah Dreyer. Entering play today, he had never gotten a hit in his college career. Didn't have many opportunities. He was 0 for 5. But today he's got 6 of them. He's been on base 7 times. He's got 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored. Fisted foul to the left side by Sean Moore, 0-1. Moore is 1 for 4 in this game with a single and a run scored. It was a bunt base hit for him. He was looking for a sacrifice back in the second. Ended up beating it out himself. Coming across as part of a 6-run inning. This time he smokes it into right center field on the ground. It's a base hit for Sean Moore. His second knock of the game. And there's a runner on once again for St. Xavier. Back-to-back 2-out hits for the Cougars. Here's Justin Massingale. Massingale struck out looking his last time up. First time he was retired in this game. He has singled, tripled, walked, driven in a run, and scored 2. He takes ball 1 high from Cody Nold. Nobody throwing in St. Xavier's bullpen. Looks like it'll still be Julian Vargas out there for the 6th. With the increasing likelihood that this could be a 7-inning game, Vargas might be in line to finish what he started. Ball high on Massingale. St. Xavier just has to keep the lead in double digits for another 2 innings. Ball inside, 3-0. Massingale is the 8th batter of the inning. St. Xavier has already sent 9 men to the plate once this afternoon. In line to do it again here. Evan Orzak waiting on deck. Strike 1 called. Check that. It's Josh Caniff waiting on deck. So Orzak's day is likely done. Strike over the inside corner. 3-2. Sean Moore will be off with the pitch from first base. As Nold tries to come from 3-0 behind to retire Massingale. High pop-up on the infield. Foul ground right side. It's playable. Nate Maliska, the first baseman, makes the catch. And the inning is over. But another big inning for St. Xavier. They score 4 runs on 3 hits, including a 2-run homer for Noah Dreyer. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. St. Francis facing their biggest deficit yet. It's 15-1. Bottom of the 6th inning, big lead for St. Xavier. They're on top of the Saints 15-1. Both teams make some changes here. There is a new pitcher on the mound for St. Xavier, so I missed him during his warm-up period, I guess. But Julian Vargas' day is done. I'll give you his final line in just a moment. The new man on the mound for the Cougars is Su Chun Yen, senior from Taiwan, who misses outside for ball 1. Goes by Allen. He's facing a new batter for St. Francis. Jack Salzeder is pinch hitting for Drew Dant, getting his first at bat today. Salzeder fouls it back. Strike 1. Well, first, let's go over the numbers of the new pitcher, Allen Yen. It's his second appearance of the year. The first one didn't go too well. Faced 2 batters. He walked them both and then departed without recording an out. Strike called, 1 and 2. So the good news is, if you don't pitch an inning, you can't have an earned run average. So it's still at 0. Bad news is he's given up a run without getting an out, which is generally something you'd rather avoid. The 1-2 pitch, ball inside, 2 and 2. As for St. Francis, Jack Salzeder is a freshman from Highland, Indiana. This is his debut, his first at bat collegiately. Left-handed reserve, swings and misses for strike 3. Presumably we'll see him take over at third base for Dant next inning. For now, he is out number 1. And the Fighting Saints go back to their bench. It's Brant Singler pinch hitting for Nate Maliska. This is not our first look at Singler today. He did have an at-bat in game 1, came up as a pinch hitter and delivered one of the biggest knocks of the day. Ball outside, 1-0. St. Francis had a 5-run lead in game 1. St. Xavier chipped away at it. It was just 7-4. And then Singler came up as a pinch hitter in the bottom of the 6th inning, hit a 2-run single, and essentially put the game on ice. Ball outside, 2-0. On the season, the junior transfer has driven in 3 runs this year. Fouled back off the screen, 2-1. He's 4 for 9 at the plate, a .444 average. 1 out, nobody on. He's replacing Nate Maliska. 2-1 count. Strike over the outside corner, 2-2. The final line today on Julian Vargas, who is in line for the victory. It would be his second this year. He went 5 innings, allowed just 1 run. It was earned. Gave up 4 hits. Didn't walk anybody. Check swing. He did not go around. 3-2. And Vargas finished the game with 2 strikeouts today. So 2 strikeouts, no walks, 4 hits, 1 run over 5 innings. No walks today means that number for the season is at 1 in 27 2/3 innings. Just 1 walk. Very impressive start to the campaign for Vargas. Payoff pitch. Singler fouls it away. Still 3-2. I don't know if I would like the name Singler as a baseball player or not. It's better than strikeouter or pop-outer or something like that, but I think I'd rather be like tripler or home runner. Singler's pretty good, though. He did get a single earlier, and now he draws a walk. Should mention that all 4 of his hits this year, true to his name, are singles. He is aboard with 1 out in the 6th inning. And let's see who's coming up next. It's like musical chairs down there now. Everybody keeps flipping places. In a 14-run game, both sides are getting a good look at their bench. This is Brent Blytek batting now. Blytek's another guy we saw in game 1. He came out as a pinch runner, but this is his first at bat. He swings the first pitch, fouls it back for strike 1. Blytek is a freshman from Crystal Lake, looking for his first college hit. He's 0 for 2 at the plate so far this season. A couple of strikeouts. I should note, I mistakenly mentioned earlier that Salzeder was getting his first at bat. He actually had 7 prior to today. So he was not looking for his first college hit. Fouled away, 0-2. Runner at first, 1 out. Alan Yen looking for his second strikeout of the inning. Instead, it's a foul ball to the left side, out of play. Keeps the count right where it was. 0-2. Again, Vargas is in line for the win after he departed following 5 strong innings. Mac Malshevsky is in line for the loss. He allowed 8 of St. Xavier's 15 runs. Strike 3 called. Blytek goes down looking. It is the second strikeout of the inning for Yen. And he'll face Alex Milcars, who I can excitedly say is not a pinch hitter. I don't have to make any new marks on my scorecard just yet. Milcars did come on as a defensive replacement back in the 3rd inning. This is his second at bat. He's 0 for 1, reached on an error his first time up. Yen, the tall right-hander, pitches out of the stretch. Ball 1 low. "17 hits today for St. Xavier, just 4 for the Fighting Saints. Saints did have some scoring chances, but twice they were erased on double plays. Fouled back, 1-1. Their only run came on a solo homer from John McGuire back in the 3rd, one of 6 home runs that have been hit in this game. The other 5 obviously belong to St. Xavier. Cougars have 7 homers in the doubleheader. 1-1 count. Yen deals. Ground ball to the shortstop. Backhanded stop. The throw to second is in time to retire the side. A 6-4 fielder's choice. And the Fighting Saints get a 1-out walk, but don't score in the 6th. Onward to the 7th. 15-1. St. Xavier. Top of the 7th, St. Xavier leads 15-1. They'll try to add on against a new St. Francis pitcher. Sophomore right-hander Ethan Fleming, who will face Josh Kniff to lead off the 7th. Kniff gets his first at bat of the game, swings at the first pitch and grounds it into left field. Hard turnaround first, he stays put. The ball went right under the glove of Jack Salzeder at third base. We'll see what the call is. Looks like a base hit for Kniff. Leadoff man is aboard yet again. 6th straight inning for St. Xavier. They've gotten their leadoff man on. And that'll bring up a pinch hitter for the Cougars. Both teams have gone pretty deep into their bench now. Kniff was not a pinch hitter. He had already come in defensively, but that was his first at bat of the game. Looks like Jackson McFarland at the plate for St. Xavier now as he takes the ball outside. 2-0. Let me give you the numbers on Ethan Fleming before I go any further. Fleming's on for the 5th time. 3rd as a reliever. He's 0-2 with a 31.5 ERA. In 6 innings, he's allowed 21 runs, 18 hits, 3 walks. He has struck out 2. Fouled away by McFarland. Jackson McFarland is 6 for 17 at the dish this year. Sophomore utility man is hitting .353 with a homer and 3 RBIs. Big swing and a miss, 2-2. He replaces Troy Stukenberg. Stukenberg went 3 for 4 with 2 homers, 4 runs scored, and 5 RBIs. 2-2. Strike 3 called. McFarland goes down looking. And Ethan Fleming picks up his 5th strikeout of the year. His 3rd strikeout, of the year. 1 away. It's time for the next man in our cavalcade of pinch hitters. This one is Logan Antrim. Junior Antrim floats one into right field. It drops in for a base hit. Kniff heads over to 3rd base. Antrim is aboard with a single. Put him at the corners. 1 away, and St. Xavier threatens to score again. First pitch, Antrim jumped on it. And now it's Gannon Burns. Burns came on as a pinch runner last inning. Stayed in the game to play shortstop, and now he gets his first at bat. An RBI chance for Burns. First at bat of the season for him. He takes strike 1. That's the 2nd time I've done that. Called it somebody's first at bat when it wasn't. My apologies. Burns is 2 for 10 this year. Ball outside, 1-1. He does have 1 RBI, so he's looking for number 2 here. Maybe number 3. This man at first as well. 1-1 pitch from Fleming, swung on and missed, 1-2. Fleming is the 5th pitcher of the game for St. Francis. Malshevsky went 2 innings, gave up 8 runs. Lopez went 2 innings, gave up 3 runs. Luke Gunther was the best of the game for the Fighting Saints. He pitched a scoreless 5th inning, and then Cody Nold allowed 4 runs, only 1 of them earned over his 1 inning. Check swing from Burns didn't go. It's 2-2. The final line on Nold, 1 inning pitched, 4 runs, like I said, only 1 of them earned. Gave up 4 hits, no walks, no strikeouts. Ground ball to 3rd base. The throw goes across the diamond to first, 2 away. Fighting Saints concede the run there as Antrim advances to 2nd. Kniff comes home. It's 16-1. 2 outs as Burns picks up his 2nd RBI of the season on the 5-3 ground out. And the batter is Nick Altabelli. No, it isn't. Of course it isn't. I don't even know why I looked at my scorecard. I should have just looked at who the pinch hitter is. Michael Flyer. I sincerely hope that he's fast with that name. We'll find out if he puts the bat on the ball here. Addison Rouse is talking things over with the home plate umpire. Is he making more changes than just the pinch hitter? The only other change he could make right now would be pinch runner at 2nd base for Antrim. And I don't think he's doing that. At least nobody's popped out of the dugout. I'm going to get ahead of things right now and look at the man on deck. Obviously, it's not Sebastian Parchimento. It is Mason Johnson. So there are 2 outs right now. That Mason Johnson appearance is only if Flyer reaches base here. First pitch is up and in on Flyer. junior from Greenup, Illinois. He transferred from Spoon River, which I have to admit is not a college I'm familiar with. 1-0 is up and in, 2 balls and no strikes. I'm trying to be careful before I say anything about stats because I've gotten so many wrong today. He is a 133 hitter, Flyer. 4 for 30 at the plate. He does have 1 homer, 2 RBIs. Flyer swings and misses 2-1. And just looking at his stats right now, I see that he's 0 for 4 stealing bases, which is unencouraging for a guy named Flyer. You'd want him to be 4 for 4. At least he's trying to live up to his name. He runs often enough. Strike called. It's 2-2. Ethan Fleming is 1 strike away from ending the top half of the 7th, which at this point is likely the final inning of the game. St. Francis will have to come up with a big rally in the bottom of the 7th to extend it beyond that. 2-2 is in the dirt, full count. One run is in this inning. Cougars have only been held off the scoreboard once in this one. That was in the 5th. Their line score is 2-6-2-1-0-4-1. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the inning is over. So Ethan Fleming gets through the 7th. He allows 1 run on 2 hits, and 1 man is left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th inning. St. Francis will try to pull off a wild comeback here. They trail 16-1. Bottom of the 7th, St. Francis trying to pull off a crazy comeback and on to try to shut the door and avoid that is a new pitcher for St. Xavier, their 3rd of the game, Osvaldo Ballesteros Jr. St. Francis goes to their bench once again. First pitch misses low for ball 1 on Malachi Riley. Riley came on defensively for Cliff Vickers to play center field last inning. There's a ground ball to the shortstop. Burns is up with it. Throw to first is in time, 1 away. One down. And Josh Kernbauer is the batter. How about that? It's a starter still in the game. One of the few. Both teams have dipped heavily into the bench, considering it's a 15-run game. Some of the younger players are getting a chance to show off a little bit, see what they can do. Kernbauer pops up the first pitch into shallow center field. Long run in for Sean Moore, but he is able to get to the spot and make the catch. A lot of ground covered by Moore there, but that ball was in the air a long time, and he was able to do it. 3 pitches, 2 outs for Ballesteros. And now the last hope for the Fighting Saints is Jake Murda, who will come up as a pinch hitter for the DH, John McGuire. Murda started game 1 and went 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. He was the starting catcher in that one. He's 4 for 16, a .250 batting average for the year. Strike over the outside corner, 0-1 on Murda. Will Calcaterra is on deck, but he'll only get to bat if Murda can extend this game. Strike over the outside corner, 0-2. Julian Vargas started for St. Xavier. He'll get the win if Ballesteros can get this final out. Ball low, 1-2. 2 outs, base is empty. Ballesteros, the right-hander, winds up and fires. Murda pops it foul to the right side. That's out of play. He keeps the at-bat and the game going. Saints have been set down in order just twice in this game, despite some of the fine pitching from Vargas. Ball outside, 2-2. In game 1, actually, happened more often than that. They were set down 1-2-3 3 times in 6 innings in game 1. But they ended up with 9 runs and won that game pretty handily. Cougars looking for the split, the 2-2. Misses downstairs. Full count. St. Xavier took a 2-0 lead in game 1. St. Francis came from behind to win it. St. Xavier took a 2-0 lead in this one, and then it was an 8-0 lead and a 10-0 lead. They just kept building. Murda takes ball 4 outside, so he comes back from 0-2 to draw the 2-out walk. And the Saints still have a pulse, as Calcaterra will indeed get his at-bat. Pinch hitting for Dan Goosel, who went 0 for 2. Will Calcaterra is a sophomore from Plainfield. He's 1 for 6 this year. Strike over the outside corner, 0-1. Alex Martinez started. He's remained in the game. And he's on deck, so he'll bat if Calcaterra can reach. He pops it foul to the right, out of play. And for the second time, Fighting Saints are down to their final strike. Will Calcaterra, excuse me, I said it was from Plainfield. He's from Wisconsin, East Troy, Wisconsin. Ball outside, 1-2. Looking at the wrong name on my roster here. In his first year with the Saints. Trying to come up with his second hit, the 1-2 pitch. Up and away, 2-2. Ballesteros having some trouble putting guys away. He recorded 2 quick outs. He got Riley and Kernbauer on 3 combined pitches. Got ahead of Murda 0-2 and then ended up walking him. He was ahead of Calcaterra 0-2. Now it's 2-2 as Calcaterra fouls one off. Another 2-strike pitch coming up. Right-hander sets and deals. Popped up right field. This time it'll stay in fair territory. Will it be caught? Yes, it will. A nice running grab made at second base to end this ball game. That was Dreyer, who's still out there. The starting second baseman, Noah Dreyer, made a nice running grab on a tough play in shallow right field. And that wraps up his fairy tale day. What a day it was for Noah Dreyer. In the doubleheader, he was not retired once in 7 trips to the plate. Makes a nice defensive play here. And now a 16-1 final score. St. Xavier defeats St. Francis to split today's doubleheader. It turns out they were both 7-inning games. Game 1 was scheduled to go 7. This one, we're just going to wrap up early because it's hard to overcome a 15-run deficit over the final 2 innings. So our final totals in this one, St. Xavier 16 runs, 19 hits, 2 errors. St. Francis 1 run, 4 hits, 2 errors. I will spare you the recap of every run, but I'll go over some of the highlights in this. St. Xavier scored 2 in the first. They added 6 runs in the second inning as they got an RBI double from Sebastian Parchimento, a bases-loaded walk from Justin Massingale, and the big hit of the inning was a 3-run homer for Troy Stukenberg, who had an RBI triple in the first. He ended up with another solo home run in the 4th inning. In the 3rd inning, they got solo shots from Altabelli and Parchimento, back-to-back homers to lead off the 3rd inning. That made it a 10-run game. The Saints got their only run on a John McGuire solo homer in the bottom of the 3rd. They got within 10-1, but Cougars scored the final 6 runs, including more long balls, a 2-run homer from Noah Dreyer in the 6th, his 2nd home run of today's doubleheader. They added 1 more on an RBI groundout in the 7th to put this one away. 16-1, our final score. The winning pitcher is Julian Vargas. Vargas went 5 innings. He allowed just 1 run. He improves to 2-1 on the season. Mac Malshevsky is the loser. He falls to 0-2. He went 2 innings and gave up 8 runs today. Overall team records, St. Francis with the splits falls to 3-10 on the season overall. They're 1-1 in conference. Both of those games, of course, were today. St. Xavier improves with the win to 8-11, and like the Saints, of course, they are 1-1 in CCAC play. That'll do it for this one. Our next home broadcast of St. Francis baseball is coming up on Saturday, so make sure you tune into that. And as always, keep up with all the comings and goings of the baseball team at GoFightingSaints.com. Final of today's doubleheader, St. Francis takes game 1, 9-4. St. Xavier takes game 2, 16-1. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off from Joliet, Illinois. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful Tuesday. We'll talk next time.